Listen, recessions don't have to be all bad. In fact, during the last recession, I learned some of the most amazing financial lessons, and in this video, I'll share 5 of those best ones with you. Now, before we get into this, I want to share with you my story because I was in a world of hurt. In the last recession, when I went into it, I was financially independent. I was living the high life, and then when the recession hit, I went from really millionaire to upside down millionaire. I got my butt kicked, right? I mean, I was in the hole $15,000, $16,000 every single month, drowning as I depleted all my savings, and then of course, ran up my credit, and I was in the point where I had no credit, no savings, and almost no hope. I'm here to tell you though, I came out of it stronger, and in fact, I was able to become financially independent by 2016 later without filing for bankruptcy. So tune in, make sure you really pay attention to these 5 tips here because they're important, especially the last one. The last one is the nail in the coffin to make sure you can learn the best from these recessions. Number 1, turn off the noise. Get rid of the news, the media. Most of the stuff they're telling you are stuff that that most people are already fearing about anyways. It's like an echo chamber, right? You say something and you just hear it come back in your own ears. They're doing that on purpose. They want clickbait. They're worse than YouTubers. I guess I'm a YouTuber, all right. But they're worse than me, right? They're really trying to get you to click on this stuff and just tell you all the fears you already know. But they don't really tell you anything. They don't give you news. They don't give you any information. They're just giving you a lot of noise. And the truth is, even a lot of people, even on like TikTok and Instagram, you get people out there that are just saying the same crap over and over. Listen, the noise, the fear, especially the fear mongering that's going on, turn it off. You can make, in fact, I'll tell you that the people that are financially literate, the ones that know what to do, just like what I've learned to do, we've learned that we can make more money during the recessions than outside of the recession, than even the big boom and the good times. I'm gonna challenge you to turn off the noise, get rid of that. Turn off your neighbor, turn off that brother-in-law that thinks they know everything. Ignore them, turn off the noise. Instead, listen to those that actually have been through these kind of times and know what to do. Number 2, have plenty of savings. You need that dry powder. You need to have enough savings, not only to help you weather the financial storm, have an emergency fund and things like that, but even for opportunities. Now, I've said in the past, having a good savings account, emergency savings fund of 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses is a good thing. So if your monthly expenses have been $5,000 a month, you might want at least $15,000 to $30,000. I'm now changing that. I'm updating that for this recession. I'm gonna say you need at least 6 to 12 months of savings. So if you spend $5,000 a month, you need at least $30,000 to $60,000 in emergency savings. Now this may not make you excited because you're probably thinking, I wanna take my money and make more with it. That's true, and you can. But I'm gonna tell you to be patient. I'm gonna tell you to not try to stick your money in banks where we already know that banks have some real issues, don't they? And we're wondering if it's gonna get worse here in 2023. But again, having plenty of savings is very important. I actually like to store a lot of my savings in infinite banking. We have lots of videos on infinite banking. You even see a playlist on our channel about that too. But I love infinite banking where I can actually get my money paying me more than 0.nothing% at the bank, and it's tax-free and protected from lawsuits and creditors. So that's a great way to do it. So have plenty of savings on hand in case you get laid off, in case there's anything that might be going on that you might be scared of. So be careful of that, but be sure to have at least 6 to 12 months of savings. All right, number 3, track your money weekly, right? Now, some people say track your money monthly. I think you should do it every single week. Why? Because you need to know how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. This I was not doing when I got into the last recession. I wish I had done this because I wasn't tracking my money weekly. I didn't know what was happening. Now, what I eventually saw happen was going back to my last point about the savings. I had my savings, but it was starting to be depleted. I wondered why my savings was depleting and my credit card balances were going up. Well, that's because I wasn't tracking my money. I was spending more than I made. And that's between my business and my personal life. I went from making $10,000, $20,000 a month and spending like $5,000 a month to all of a sudden now I was spending like $20,000 plus a month and only making $5,000 a month. And that's because the recession started kicking my butt so bad, it was hard. And of course, once money becomes rare, once money really becomes scarce, that's when I started to track it. I invite you to track it even before money becomes an issue. Track it every single week so you know what's going on and you can pivot and make changes right away. That's so important. So track your money. If you have a business, track your business and track your personal expenses. Tools I like to use, I like Mint. Mint has been a great one for me. They have an app as well as you can go to mint.com and be able to use their free tool there to help you track your money more efficiently than just pen and paper or spreadsheet and things like that. Now, number 4, this is so important right now, going into this recession that we have right now, is avoid speculative investments. Avoid the stocks, avoid the crypto, avoid the NFTs, avoid anything that you think might get you rich quick. These speculative investments that have not been proven in the field of battle are even worse when you go into the field of battle, right? Things are great in good times. Anybody can make money during good times. The true wealthy, the people that actually really create wealth and create massive wealth that grows over their lifetime and even creates wealth for generations to become after them, are those that don't go for the speculative investments. They don't try to throw all the chips in and gamble in this kind of crap. Okay? They're avoiding this stuff. They're not trying to deal with this unknown world, hoping to make it big. Avoid. In fact, here's a bonus tip. Avoid the whole mentality that high risk creates high returns. That is so false, it is dumb. If high risk, definition of risk is chance of loss. So if high risk creates high returns, wouldn't that mean the bigger chance of losing, the bigger chance of winning? So if that's the case, should I go buy a freaking Powerball lottery ticket right now? Because that's got the biggest chance of losing, but man, look at that reward potential, it's huge. Everybody cash out your 401ks, everybody cash out your IRAs, cash out all your savings, borrow money from everybody, the banks, everything, and buy Powerball tickets right now. By the way, don't do that. If you could tell, I have a little bit of sarcasm in my voice here. Do not do that kind of crap. Okay, that's not good. Just so you know, when you're dealing with stocks and crypto, now stocks might be a little bit better, but still, there's a lot of speculation even there. It can go up, it can go down, and you can't do anything about it. So avoid speculative investments. Instead, buy investments that actually have the ability for you to have some control in it, some say-so, or investments that tend to hold their value. These would be investments like real estate, right? Real estate. I know I beat that drum over and over, but it's been the one that's proven, and it's been proven for hundreds of years, right? It doesn't mean that real estate can't go down, but if you do my fifth and final point here, which is the key one, if you do this fifth and final point, you can actually still make money even if your real estate loses value. So let's just, okay, no more. Let's just get into it. Before I do, hey, put in some comments. What are things you learned from the last recession? Love to hear that. And by the way, subscribe and like this video as well. Okay, now the fifth and final point, build your passive income now. Passive income is the thing I should not have gotten rid of. Now understand, like in this last period of time, I was desperate, right? I wanted to make money. Now, the reason I went from $20,000 a month down to like $5,000 a month is because when I started a new business, that partner said, hey, you've got these different ventures going on. I would really like you focused and really just honed in with the mission of our company, right? Really, he's saying mission of my company because he was making more money if I made him more money, right? So, of course, that partner had a vested interest for me to be more focused there. So I had all these passive income streams, but I said, you know what, you're right. I should be all in. I'm a team player. Yay, go team. Well, I did that, and then guess what happened? I cut off my passive streams of income. Dumbest thing ever, considering that this partner I was teaching stuff with, we were talking about passive income, right? How ironic that I would become a hypocrite teaching people about passive income, and I just cut off a bunch of my passive income streams. Well, of course, lo and behold, 2007 hits. Our business was focused towards real estate investors. You know, we're teaching people about that. And the next thing you know, it collapses and our business starts suffering because those people can't pay us. And I put all my chips into this one business. I only had like one or two other passive income streams. Not much. I cut off the majority of them. And so I was quickly becoming desperate. I was suffering and I already ran up expenses for this new business too. So now I have more expenses, less income. If I can emphasize anything to you in this video right now, is to have multiple streams of passive income. And you don't have to do it all overnight. I'm not saying go out today and make it work for you right now. I'm just saying you want those multiple streams of passive income coming in, build them one by one, have them start coming in so that you can become work optional like me, right? You work because you want to, not because you have to. So the top 5 lessons are this. Turn off the noise, turn off the news, turn off your neighbors, turn off your brother-in-laws because they're stupid, all right? Turn that stuff off. Have plenty of money in savings, build up that war chest, build up that emergency fund, at least 6 or 12 months. Track your money weekly, avoid speculative investments like crypto and stocks and NFTs and all that kind of crap, and really build your passive income now with real assets, real investments like real estate, which is what we teach on this channel. In fact, you know, if you want to invest in stocks versus investing in real estate, if you're not going to listen to me anyways, I got another video for you because if you're going to invest in stocks regardless, I recommend you do it this way. Click on this next video about how to invest in stocks as a teenager.